Hello, George Krumm here. Welcome to the third annual Think Outside Virtual Outdoor Show. In this seminar, we're going to talk about the bowline. All right, the next and final knot we're going to cover in this seminar is a knot that many of you may already be familiar with, or maybe you're not. But it's one of the most useful knots for both fishing and camping that I can think of, and it's the bowline. The bowline is pretty easy to tie. We use it for our anchoring gear all the time. We also sometimes use it for leaders. I've used it for leader, braided leader, a lot of times Ganyan style material for circle hooks for halibut. I've also used it in the lower 48 with heavy braided material for sturgeon leaders. Here's how you tie the bowline. First thing you're going to do is take the line and form a loop. If I was tying this to an anchor shackle of some sort, I could go ahead and put that on now. And for this knot, we simply go up through the bottom of the loop. A lot of people like to say around the tree and then back down through the loop. And what you can do with this is just grab the whole thing like this and start pulling it tight. Now, it looks like a very simple knot, and it is, and it doesn't look like it'd be all that strong. But we've had our, I run a 22-foot sled. It probably weighs about 4,500 pounds, maybe closer to 5 grand with people in it. And this knot does not come undone by itself. It simply will not come undone. The beauty of the bowline, though, is that you can untie it anytime you want. Even if this has been sitting in my boat, has been used 25 times, has been wet and dried that many times, I can still untie this knot. And all you simply have to do is basically break the back of the knot like that, give it a little bit of slack, and it comes right apart, just like that. Very easy, useful knot to use, both for your anchoring gear and for certain types of leader. Okay, I mentioned that the bowline is great for anchors, but also for some of the fishing that we do. Here's a great big giant halibut circle hook. Now this is heavier than the cord we'd actually use if we were using Ganyan leader or something like that, but the principle is the same. I've tied a bowline up the line quite a ways. I'm going to go in from the point side of the circle hook, through the eye of the hook, pull it through, slide the hook through it, and pull it tight. You want, for a circle hook, you want the line to be coming out of the eye on the same side as the point of the hook for the circle hook to operate right. It forces the hook to rotate the way that you want. So that's a good use of the bowline in a non-anchoring application. All right, so we talked about 5 knots that we think are great knots to use in your fishing. These are knots that we use all the time. They're among the most used knots that I use for sure. They're easy to tie. They're very strong. They're an improvement over some of the more simple knots, but they're not so difficult to tie that they're not useful to the average angler.